Every producer knows that Serum 2 dropped recently, and there are tons of new features that you need to know in order to completely reshape your sound design and add that unique flair to your music. So me and you are diving into this completely blind and uncovering what Serum 2 is really hiding. And by the end, you'll know exactly how to use Serum 2 to make sounds that stand out in your music. Let's get into it. Alright, we got FL Studio opened up right here, and let's load up Serum 2. So here's the thing, I haven't really played around with this yet. I made sure it was working and everything, and it was registered before I started recording this, so I have no idea what to expect. But right off the bat, Serum 2 just looks better in my opinion. I love the clean look with the gradients and everything. So of course got the basic initial preset with the saw wave. Let's detune it. And just diving into the new features right now, let's load up a sample because I've heard that you can now use Serum as a sampler. So yeah, for example, we could take this glass texture right here, and I believe if we drag it into oscillator B. Okay, hold up. So there's an option for sample as well as granular synthesis and spectral. Tons of different options to play around with. Let's just try granular really quick. Okay, so you can zoom in, zoom out, scroll through the sample. So I'm guessing the scan is just the rate at which it scans through the sample. The density is how much grains there are. Yeah. Okay, and you have these random knobs down here which randomize the parameters they're connected to. That's so sick. Okay, so I'm already hearing this granular synth pad type of sound. Let's just try and make something real quick. So of course we got oscillator A with the saw wave. Let's apply a filter to this, and we'll apply it to the envelope so that the filter gets modulated. That's pretty cool already. So really quickly, let's go to the piano roll and make a chord progression, just to have an example. Beautiful, just something simple like that. Anyway, let's go back here and activate this granular synthesis. A little bit messy, but we can edit this to make it more clean. Okay, and I just noticed that we have this new filter too. So we have two filters instead of one. That's pretty cool. Let's try and take filter 2 and apply this only to the granular sample right here. Play around with the length. So maybe we want parts where the length of the grains are super short, and then parts where it's super long and drawn out. So what we can do is use the LFO1 and apply this to the length and see what that does. Let's take a look at the effects section. Okay, it comes with presets as well. Whoa. Super warped sound. And one thing I heard about is this new nitrous reverb setting, and it has this really nice tone to it. Kind of reminds me of Valhalla Shimmer. I've used that a ton in my videos. Alright, this needs some reverb and delay. Let's load another sample in here just to try something out. Maybe like some nature sample or something. This is so weird. Get that bird chirping texture. And so there's also this spectral option here, and I'm really excited to dive into this. It's also cool we have a built-in filter here now, so you can like draw points. Just try it. Whoa. Alright, I'm sold already. Okay, this is so sick. So what if we try and take LFO2 and we automate that cutoff there? There's so much to dive into. I just don't know what to do here. Anyway, I heard there's this new path option as well as chaos and SNH. I believe with path, yeah, if you double click, then you can basically draw pictures with this. It's interesting. Reverse it. We have some presets down here. That's cool. Alright, so I was getting bored of the last chord progression, so I changed it up a little bit. And now I want to check out the mix section as well as the bus tracks, because I've heard you can do some weird routing. So after going and watching the Splice Serum guide, I figured it out. In the mix tab, we have these bus tracks. Let's go to the effects section, go to bus 1. and start applying some effects. So just as an example, I'll apply some distortion. And I know there's this new splitter, so you can split the low frequencies, the mid frequencies, and the high frequencies to have different effects on them. So I'll try and use that just to get it down. Now if we go to this mix section, I believe we can just turn up bus 2 or bus 1 here. Yeah, so that is the distortion right there coming through on the highs. Let's just try it without the splitter. Alright, so after some editing and trying out the new features, the chaos, etc., as well as replacing some samples, I came up with this preset. I called it Cool Granular Pad. I have this macro here that we can automate, and this is modulating both filters. So we have this one and then this one, as well as the sustain on this pad. So it'll slowly get more intense. Let's just try it out. Beautiful. Just this lush synth pad type of sound with these unique granular textures. I think it sounds cool. Anyway, let's head to Ableton and try some stuff out. Alright, so we got Ableton loaded up with some drums and stuff. Anyway, let's load up Serum 2 and just make a track, honestly. I hear this idea where it goes dun 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 dun, something like that. And let's make some chords. Alright, doesn't sound too good yet, but we'll workshop it. First of all, I think this F chord could go down to, I don't know, maybe a C? Maybe a C suspended 4. Alright, I hear the vision in my head. Alright, let's make some synth. Okay, let's make this more unique. Maybe at this part we switch it up into a bass house drop. Alright, we're back. So I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got distracted and worked on this for like a good 45 minutes. I did some effects, some more layers, etc. The classic production stuff, but I really want to show you this here. Made this weird glitch sound by dragging in an 808 to the spectral option in Serum 2, and I was warping it, added some filters to it, created this weird LFO, as well as some distortion and a compressor. And I created this glitch version too. Also, this is pretty cool. Anyway, this is what the project sounds like. And in this second section here, I actually switched the chord from a minor chord, which is supposed to be this, to this. Gives it this weird kind of vibe to it. And I know this video is supposed to be about Serum 2, but with this, we have these very conflicting emotions. The chord progression starts out very happy, and then it switches up on you into something interesting. Anyway, this video is about Serum 2, so let's load up an empty project and continue sound designing. So this time I want a completely empty project, and I just want to make some cool synth art or something with a ton of modulation and effects going on. So first, let's make a chord progression. All right, cool. Simple enough. We'll put an Ableton arpeggiator on this. All right, and let's design something cool. So I have the noise oscillator enabled here. And what if we FM oscillator A to the noise? Maybe we can modulate this. Do some filtering. Maybe we can use filter 2 on oscillator B and have this sweep in and out. Okay, now I want to make use of this bus track. So I want a ton of delay as well as reverb. And I want this to be applied to oscillator B. We can have oscillator B switch octaves every bar or something, maybe every 8 bars. This is getting a little bit crazy. I'm just utilizing everything I can here. Maybe let's get some ambient texture. Add this little crystally texture to it. Change the art pattern. All right, let's bring in that pad that we made earlier. And maybe make a respace as well. Anyway, really hope you enjoyed this video. Had a ton of fun making it, and fun fact, I meant to post this like 2 weeks ago or something like that, but some stuff got in the way. Anyway, we're back, got some new stuff coming out soon. Also, I got a new mic after 6 years of not upgrading, so hopefully it sounds a little bit better. If you're interested in working one-on-one with me to take your music to the next level, you can check the first link in the description. And if you want a song produced by me for your artist project, you can check the other link in the description. But anyway, thank you once again for watching. Please subscribe to help me retire my parents, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Peace.